Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey Skate Down. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much, and let's get started. So there's been a lot of Devils rumors going around since the Devils have been made known that they're talking to other teams about potentially trading the second overall pick. We've heard a massive amount of rumors regarding some very big name players, so I will talk about them all in this video. And I also want to talk about the latest with the Jesper Bratt contract that we're all looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with. So please stay with me throughout. It should be a fun video talking about these big names that are being linked to the Devils as of recently. So the Devils have started discussions on a new contract for pending RFA winger Jesper Bratt. The winger told Ryan Novinsky of the Star Ledger. Bratt added that talks haven't progressed yet to the point of talking salary, so it's clear a deal isn't imminent. Ryan tweeted out that they're trying to make a deal work this summer. He loves playing for the Devils. As far as salary, I know you had to ask. I'd be disappointed if you didn't, but that's something we're going to work on soon. Tom Fitzgerald, he's been very adamant about talking about how big of a part Jesper Bratt is for the future of the New Jersey Devils. He's a tremendous young player. We want Jesper here long term. That's my job, to work out a deal with his agent. So, we heard the rumors of him potentially having a deal close to being done, but, coming from what we've heard as of today, it's not, but they're starting negotiations, and, they should have a contract that should be done before arbitration for Jesper Bratt this summer. So hopefully we'll see what it is. Hopefully it's a favorable deal for both sides, and his deal doesn't crush the Devils as far as the AAV of it all. So now going to the rumors. Now the rumors, a couple of big names. I'm going to talk about JT Miller. I'm going to talk about Johnny Gaudreau. I'm going to talk about Alex Debrincat, and I'll talk about David Pastranak. Those are the big names circling around this team. So I'll start off with JT Miller. So on Sportsnet 650, Irfan Ghaffar was talking about JT Miller. He says the Devils still have legitimate interest in the Canucks forward. There might be a sleeper team involved in the JT Miller sweepstakes. He went on to talk about how JT Miller would be a great fit as far as he's a veteran working with their young core. So looking at JT Miller, 29 to 30 years old, what is it going to take to get him? I honestly don't see a second overall pick going for JT Miller. There's got to be the worry of what's going to happen if we trade for him. We can't sign him to an extension. Then you lose a second overall pick, a young second overall pick for an older player. And I'm not knocking JT Miller as a great player. I liked watching him play with the Vancouver Canucks. I wasn't a big fan of him with the Rangers. I wasn't a big fan of him with Tampa. But I felt when he went to the Vancouver Canucks, we saw a different player. And he worked so well with their young core. And just his point production was just year after year getting better and better. And this year almost eclipsing the 100 points. So he is a great player. He really is. I would love to add him with the Devils. Watching him play this year before Bruce Gaudreau came the coach, when they were on their downfall, I was thinking automatically, I was going to do a video. The Devils should try to trade for JT Miller. But then, the team took off. The player took off. And he really, every time you heard of his name, he was putting up 2, 3, 4, 5 points. He just turned into this great player this year. And, seeing his point production go up year after year, he's gonna be a good asset to any team looking to trade with the Vancouver Canucks. But I'm looking more of what it may take to get him. It's definitely going to be a first-round pick. So if the Devils are willing to give next year's first-round pick, maybe if it's top 10 protected, that could be interesting. Next year is a very deep draft. And, I know the Canucks don't want to lose him for anything. But it's going to take what we've been seeing around the past. It's going to take a first-round pick. It's going to take probably a couple of picks, a good roster player, and a good prospect to land him. So the Devils do have all of that. Just question is, are the Canucks willing to take next year's if it's protected? What kind of players are they looking at? You've seen they've had interest in Pavel Zacha. Can we include Zacha? Other forwards like Nolan Foote, maybe Tice Thompson. Other players on this team that are good prospects that can help a team out for the future. Maybe they slowly not being on the Devils' radar going forward, and maybe they can work out with another young team. So we'll see what happens with this, but I do see Miller landing on a team, and I do see the Canucks getting a good return for him. I know a lot of people are going to say, why send Miller to the Devils? They're not going to be good, but you never know. The Devils make a couple of moves, they could be potentially a playoff team next year. So, next player I want to talk about, Alex Debrincat. So, according to Dave Pagnotta, the New Jersey Devils, the LA Kings, the New York Islanders, and the Philadelphia Flyers have all shown interest in Alex Debrincat up to this point. Pagnotta notes that the second overall pick from the Devils is in play, so that's what we're hearing again. And per Frank Saravelli, he was saying why Chicago wants to trade him. Why wouldn't you want to keep this young star forward on your team? So he went on to say Chicago wants to move him because Debrincat is the best trade chip to stockpile future assets. He will be middle-aged by the time Chicago is starting to contend. And he has a $9 million qualifying offer due to him at the end of next season. So, looking at Alex Debrincat, 24 years old, 5'7", 165 pounds. He's currently making $6.4 million AAV. Looking at his stats this year, he had his best year. Played in 82 games, 41 goals, 37 assists for 78 points. In 2020-2021, he played in 52 games, 32 goals, 24 assists for 56 points. 2019-2020, played in 70 games, 18 goals, 27 assists for 45 points. And 2018-2019, he played in 82 games, 41 goals, 35 assists, 76 points. Kind of the same production he had along this year. So looking at him, he's a 2-time 40-goal scorer, a 3-time 30-plus goal scorer, and a 4-time 25-plus goal scorer. So Alex Debrincat could put the puck in the net, and that's exactly what the Devils need to play along Hischier Hughes. So he would definitely solve our problem as a top 6 forward. Question is, do the Devils want to spend that much on him going forward? I know Tom Fitzgerald has talked about mainly adding some veteran presence. He wants to add a certain size element to this team, and that's where I don't see them going for Alex Debrincat, especially with his next deal paying him $9 million plus. So he's going to be an expensive forward if any team's willing to take that on, but he is a dynamic goal scorer, and I could just picture him with Hischier Hughes really lighting it up. But just the question is, do the Devils want that? Do they want to get a big physical forward, which kind of is in line with what we want to see too. We want to see this team get a different element from what we have. But Debrincat could put the puck in the net. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with him going forward. Now going over to Johnny Gaudreau. Pierre LeBrun on TSN says that if Johnny Gaudreau hits the market, he says look out for the New Jersey Devils to pursue him, and names the Seattle Kraken as a wild card team. They are expected to be aggressive in the UFA market. Again, Johnny Hockey, tremendous hockey player. Just looking at him on either line with Hughes or playing alongside Hischier, he can add an element that we kind of have but don't have. He's a fast young forward. He can score. He can set up people. So he would add a certain dynamic to this team. But the thing is, he's going to be another expensive forward. I don't know where Fitzgerald's looking to go with this team. I don't know what kind of element he wants to add. Does he want to go big this summer and add another big contract? We've seen what he did with Dougie Hamilton last year. Was he waiting for this year to add a forward? We'll have to wait and see. But Johnny Gaudreau on any of those top 2 lines would look dynamic. It would add another speed element. It would add another scoring element. It would add another playmaking ability. But he's not that big forward that Fitzgerald talks about. So I don't know if he's looking that direction. But bringing him to play closer to where he was born, there's that allure. But there's going to be a lot of teams looking to get him. A lot of teams that have the cap space, like the LA Kings, the Seattle Kraken, the New Jersey Devils, the Philadelphia Flyers. Those are teams that may be looking to add Johnny Gaudreau. But the Calgary Flames are looking to try to retain him. I do see them trying, but to fit him and Matthew Tkachuk on the same team, it's going to be very hard for the general manager of the Calgary Flames. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with Johnny Gaudreau. But him on the Devils would be very interesting. And then looking at this whole David Pastranak rumor, it's something that he's voiced his opinion, saying that he doesn't like the Cassidy firing. He doesn't like the direction the team's going, the way they let their UFA forwards, namely, not forwards, but their UFAs walk, especially Torrey Krug, who's a defenseman. But he doesn't like the way they handle the situations of letting those free agents walk. And, he's going to question his if he wants to stay with the team when he's looking to redo his deal. But that's where Bruins ownership is thinking, should we move him before he gets till his contract's done to get some assets for him? Because David Pastrnak could bring in a hell of a lot to this team if they're looking to move him. So that is an interesting fit. I would love to see Pastrnak on the Devils, but I don't see the Bruins going this route. They have a lot of injuries this offseason. A lot of big names had a lot of big surgeries, and they're out for an extended period of time. So unless this is a year the Bruins are really calling it in and trying to get Connor Bedard, I don't see this happening. But I don't see David Pastrnak trade. I see them kind of mending this situation and having him be a Bruin. He's a fan favorite. He's a loved player for this organization. And I don't see this trade happening. I just think it's a bunch of stuff that blew up from the firing. And, I think it's caused this to happen. So what do you guys and girls think about this? Would the Devils be a good fit for any of these players I mentioned? Again, I would love JT Miller. I would love Alex Debrincat. I would love Johnny Gaudreau. And I would love Pastrnak on the Devils. But you have to know what's going to happen going forward. You add these big contracts, one of them, I mean. If you add one of these big contracts, it's going to take away from you having to sign some of your players that you want to keep around as of now. So that's where the questions lie with Fitzgerald. What is he going to do entering this offseason? I know a lot of Devils fans are very eager and chomping at the bit to see what he's going to do, myself included. I am eagerly anticipating this offseason. So, we'll see what happens. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. Smash that like button if you haven't done so, and subscribe to the Hockey Skate Down. It's free. Join our hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great night. Take it easy. Stay safe.